Today, I would like to talk to you about technology. My son came home today, and he had to tell me how many friends he had. He said, I have 365 friends, approximately. So I kind of looked at him, and I started to answer him, and then he was outdone by my daughter, who was 13, who said, well, I have 652 friends, so I beat you. As I was thinking about this answer, my 14-year-old son came in and said, I beat you both because I have 782 friends. Now you might be thinking, my son who's 10, how would he have more than 10 friends? Much less friends in the hundreds. And my 13 or 14-year-old, you may think, are the most popular kids in the world. But we live in a town with less than 25,000 people, so it would be really hard for them to have that number of friends. And no, we do not host elaborate parties at our house or invite extraordinary numbers of people over. As most of you here can guess, they're talking about their Facebook friends. But as they said that, I had to think. I myself have 900 friends on Facebook. Do I really think that these are all my friends? No. But as my children talked, I thought, what lessons have they learned from me and my partner as we're raising them? Obviously, in the competitive mode, they thought having more friends than somebody else made them superior. So I thought to myself, is technology making us smarter and making us more connected, or is technology actually making us dumber and less connected? Sadly, as I think about it, it's making us less connected. I have heard a lot of people talk about how they are lonely. We live in an age when even people in remote places in America, such as Alaska or very rural areas, can now have cell phones or computers and be in touch with somebody instantly. So we think, how can you have 700, 800, 900 friends and actually be more lonely? So I think about what we are teaching our children. Is Facebook actually making us more disconnected? Is technology making us more disconnected? And I think I have to examine my own life. I remember for a very long time, since I was in grade school into my early 20s, I used to have pen pals that I actually physically wrote to. I had pen pals from several different countries, and I remember the joy of actually taking the time to physically write something out, to choose the type of paper that I sent it, the envelope. All of it was very important in how I was communicating with this person. I remember the anticipation of waiting for a letter from somebody else to reply, and the excitement of getting that letter and seeing their envelope and the stamps from a different country and the way they wrote. All of that was very important to me. It was just as important as the message they were saying. And I think even when I talk to somebody, you look at their facial expression, you look at their body language, and that usually says much more than what their words are saying. Last week also, my partner got angry because she had sent our landlord a text message. And she received a text message back, and she felt that what the landlord said was insulting. Well, when the landlord and my partner actually had a face-to-face conversation, they realized that, they both had been inferring and guessing what the other person meant in their text message because they couldn't see body language, they couldn't see tone. And actually, both of them were trying to be very cordial and helpful, but they both looked at the text message in a very literal way. And I felt, as the more I thought about this, the more I have felt like I have failed my children. So how do we teach the next generation not to be a slave to technology when we are a slave to technology? I don't know if I have that answer, but I do know that I would rather have my children look at 5 friends or 2 friends or 3 friends as very close that they physically know, instead of being excited that they have 400 or 500 friends, most of which, if they saw out in a public area, probably would not even recognize them. So I feel like all of us should try to find a way to show that that connection is much more important than having a number. I guess we need to find a way to show that quality is more important in friendship and family and human connection than numbers are. If you'd have told many people 15 or 20 years ago that almost all of the population in the Western countries of the world would have access to somebody in China or Japan or very, very thousands of miles away instantly, they probably wouldn't have believed you. Or they would have said, no, that sounds good. Gosh, wouldn't we all be really close if that could happen? But it has happened. And I find that many people are talking more about how they are lonely or they feel disconnected. I myself feel much more disconnected now, having a slew of friends that I can email easily and not so many people that actually write letters out physically. My children did not learn how to write in cursive during grade school because it is not taught anymore in the school districts that we go to. It is not needed. It is not important to be able to physically write fast because you always will be able to type. So I think about that. I think about our children. I think about the conversations I have with other parents and their children. The other day, we were sitting together in my family, and I realized that all of us were looking down at our phones. Nobody was really hearing what the other person was saying. We were too busy checking out what somebody else's life was like. And it is nice. There are positive things to be able to be connected with people that maybe you went to high school with or your family that's far away. And that is great about it. But it seems humans have taken it way too far. In our hurry to become connected globally with everyone, we have become disconnected with many of the people who were closest in our life, including our children. I do not want to be a hypocrite. I realize that I'm coming to the end of my career at Ivy Tech. And in this last 2 years, the majority of my classes have been taken online. I have taken some classes in person, and I have much better memories and more connection with my classmates, my instructor, or my professor because I had a real human connection with them. I must admit that most of my professors that I never physically saw, or my classmates that I never physically saw, I don't feel much of a connection or could probably tell you their names. To me, this is very sad. But at the same time, I am not sure how to make that better, other than to show my children that a true friendship connection is much more important